I'm nervous, but also excited.
Really? You're nervous right now?
You know what's amazing, by the way? Nerves, people always talk about it. Like, oh, I'm nervous. It's one of the healthiest things in the world.
I want your job. You're having so much fun. You have to have a personality. B, you have to always be on your game.
You need to know your business. People respect your intellectual property. If you have information to give them, they'll listen.
What we talk about here is we want to grow personally and we want to grow professionally. And the most important recipe, the number one ingredient is
None of your business, Ushy.
None of your business, Michael.
It's the None of Your Business podcast, hosted by Michael and Ushy.
Laibel Schwartz, welcome to the None of Your Business podcast. It's an honor to have you here.
This is such a treat. It's very strange to be on the other side. I'm nervous, but also excited.
Really? You're nervous right now?
Yeah, because now I make the joke all the time, no matter what I do. But in all truth, yeah, because generally I'm the one playing. And I say we win because we make the game. I made the game according to our skill sets. Now I'm playing in your game. I'm excited. It's like like a new thing.
Okay.
You know what's amazing, by the way? Nerves, people always talk about it. Like, oh, I'm nervous. It's one of the healthiest things in the world.
It means you're alive.
No, not only that. I was once giving a class at Adorama, and it was my first class. I used to teach at B&H and then transitioned to Adorama, and I was my first class, and I like, I don't know, half hour beforehand to get in my own world, to kind of get myself nervous, because that's how you perform. And the guy asked me, what do you need? I said, I just need a room. I need to sit down and get nervous. He was like, no, you'll be fine. I said, I know I'll be fine. I said, but I got to get nervous. He's like, no, don't be nervous. You'll be fine. I said, no, you get it. I know I'll be fine. I need to get nervous because that's when you're on edge. That's when you're playing your best.
Yes.
And he didn't get it until much later. He says, oh, I get it, right? You need to go and get nervous.
Yeah.
You know, it gets me nervous to get nervous sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you, because I'm thinking that I might be a little bit too much, like I might be too emotional or too overwhelming for others. You know, you ever get that sometimes? Like,
all the time. And it's a funny thing because I always say, and again, I guess we'll just dive right into it. People, when they see you online, they only see a little part of who you are and what you're doing. So I always say that, you know, when someone sees anyone online, you don't see the genuine person. You see who they are when
what they're showing you.
Exactly. But the crazy part is this thing, when you really meet someone, they're not jumping in. I'm not going, all the time. That's just what I have to do at work. But how are people going to receive who you are is a very interesting concept.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you, I'm so pumped for you guys because we had this original conversation and everyone says, I'm going to start a podcast. I get calls all the time. How do I start it? What do I do? And when you called me, I said, okay, to see it active, rocking, full speed, every conference, it's like, it's inspiring.
We're having fun.
Thank you.
Right.
That's the key. We're doing this because we're passionate about it. It's much easier to follow through on things that you also look at it as like a sport. Like, you know, you're having fun while you do it. That's the key to life, is just find things that make you happy. And right now, this is making us happy.
Yeah, it hurts sometimes. I'm smiling. Like, I sit there, I'm just watching and I'm smiling.
What are we going to get out of this? People ask us all the time, like, where are you going? I don't know. Like, why do I have to know where it's going to go? All I know is right now in the moment, I'm enjoying it. Meeting people like you, getting to hear your story.
Yeah, we love interviewing thought leaders, industry leaders, just unique people with different experiences. And what we're finding more and more is everyone has a story to tell.
Everybody.
And when you create a comfortable environment that can be vulnerable, that could be like, let's get into it. It just the goodness comes out of it, and we're growing. So it's really, really amazing. Thank God. So what people don't know is that Ushy, before we started our podcast, I did like I do everything else. I've mentioned this a few times. I always seek advice from 3 people. I always go to 3 people that are experts in whatever challenge I'm going through.
You call it Besdin, is what you call it.
Yes, I call it Besdin, exactly. Yeah. So I made a Besdin for podcasting because I said, I want to go into podcasting. I think it's the number one way to be top of mind in marketing and anything you do. What exactly we're going to do, how it's going to do it, we're still learning, and as long as we're enjoying it. And I went to my friend Laibel here, and he said, come to my house. And you don't know this. I went to his backyard, met his family, had some yogurt.
Yogurt? My bad.
We literally had some yogurt because he was promoting a yogurt company. He's got a lot of free stuff just sitting everywhere. You know,
it's a fascinating world.
So, and he lives in an amazing, amazing little town in Hillburn, New York, committed his whole life to it. And I want to talk about that in a minute. And I asked him his advice and his thought, and we went on for an hour, and we're schmoozing. And I'm forever grateful for your time that you gave me. I was talking about this earlier. You know, leadership is about building people up, and you are a true leader, a true friend, And I appreciate it. I really, really do. So I just want to learn more about you also, because I saw your house. I know you lived in Hilburn. You live in Hilburn. Where did you come from? How did you get to this? I know you had a brief thing with LinkedIn. I mean, you were learning with my son a few years ago, right? And suddenly, like, you're all over. So
So it's a
tell me
very
about your journey. And thank you for your compliment on ours.
No, this was a real investment. An hour to turn into this. Again, we had just the hour. You do a lot of hours that don't turn into anything. To put an hour in and turn into this, it's like
Thank you.
it's a real investment. So right, so you knew us. We were in Köln when we first got married. So my wife's was an interior designer from Parsons School of Design, like the best design school that ever existed. And I was learning, so I started doing photography. And as a way, I would do gigs at night and be able to learn all day. And when we got married, so I said, she's wanted to do interior design naturally. I said, it's not going to make sense. You guys, you're going to go out and buy people $40,000 couches and come back to our $40 Craigslist couch. Like, it's not going to feel right. That's not the right move.
That's a valid concern.
1,000%. What are you going to do?
Your whole life, you're busy making other people have nice things and look good, and like then you come home, you're gonna get resentment at one point.
Even if it's not intentional, there's a schism that's going.
You're a human being.
I love that you're admitting it. Like,
1,000%.
yeah, 100%. I'm loving it.
So I said, so she said, what are we going to do? I said, I don't know, let's start a business. So she said, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. I know photography.
Where'd you know photography from?
So I went in university. I was doing archaeology in Eretz Yisrael. And that means you have to dig from like 5 o'clock in the morning to like 5 o'clock p.m. in this like raging heat. So as opposed to getting credits for digging, I told the photography professor, let me just do classes by you, get the same amount of credits. You work for like an hour taking pictures of the artifacts at the end of the day after everyone's all right, and same amount of credits.
Genius.
So we rocked all day,
Smart man. Wow.
got to learn, and then at the end of the
By the way,
day,
after this podcast, there's going to be thousands of photographers coming out instead of archaeologists.
yeah.
We're missing
There's a
archaeologists.
rule.
If anybody needs to be in
Nice.
So this is what happened. And so I learned it. And it was a brilliant move because at that time, education is very hard in photography because it's naturally not a very Heimish environment. So she would do all the learning during the day. And I would come home and she would teach it to me. And we built a beautiful wedding company, a really boutique wedding kind of experience. And that's what we did for many years. I was learning Köln for 8.5 years.
So you were straight up a photographer for weddings, bar mitzvahs,
For many
events.
years. Yeah.
Like En Vogue photography. That's like a pretty famous one in
I've been out
Brooklyn.
in space for so long.
No, okay, but I'm saying it's a regular
1,000%.
photography company.
But we were, again, the idea was we were really involved. Couple boutique. It was a really beautiful experience. I actually asked one of your interesting thing. I asked Rabbi Gluck. I said, we have the opportunity to be, I believe, the best in the space, and bring something new. Bring something really wild to the industry. Can I justify charging the things that I'm going to charge, or should I just stay low key? I'm not physically a very that type of place. I don't know how hashkafically connect to it, but should I go there, or since maybe I shouldn't? He said,
I don't understand the question.
The question is like this. I could either do a bunch of smaller events, or we could become the best in the world of what we're doing, but then it costs a lot of money.
You're asking business advice.
No, I'm asking a hashkafic question.
Why is this a hashkafic
It's
question?
both. It's both.
Because the question was, if maybe this is not my lifestyle to be in a lavish, unbelievable environment, is that something I should provide? If it's not something that maybe I would want for myself.
Interesting. Okay.
So he said something fascinating. He said, does it exist in the world already? So I said, yes. He says, if it exists in the world, if you were bringing something new to the market, there was a new luxury that no one ever knew
You're
about,
starting that trend.
then maybe you'll have a question. But if it already exists, then there's no reason you shouldn't do it, especially if you could do better than anyone. And that's what we did.
So you became a boutique
wedding
photography
and
where
that's
you
what we
did it. So what was your niche? What would you do
very
differently?
couple focused, very couple centric, just the same as we do now. And I found that everything that we've done has really just been about finding who it is and telling their story. So now we're doing it in companies, but then we were doing it with couples and kind of connecting with them and doing images that were, wild, the world had never seen before. And we did that for about 8.5 years.
What does that mean, by the way? I'm just like
When you see what was going on, everything, when you look at wedding images, right? So it's kind of like we're about to make our first bar mitzvah. Yeah, it's like it's a system. You go through the bar mitzvah, you go check off the box photographer. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to remember, we were connecting with couples, and beforehand, we would be doing engagement sessions. We'd get to know who they are, what they're interested in, right? Then we would, at the wedding, my wife would bake scones and give it to them the morning of, because no one ever has food the next day, right? So she'd bake scones and give it to the kala as we started the day. So they'd have food the next day. When they came in, we'd show them images with champagne and fresh baked goods. It was a whole different. It was the thing that allowed.
You
them-
created a story.
Yeah.
You didn't just take pictures of the moment. You really set it up.
Hit the nail on the head.
No, but also you have to remember these couples never knew each other much.
Right.
So what did they have to relate to? They didn't have. any
That's so true, by the
They're
way.
very shy
no-
still.
You forget about that.
You're right. That's
They
hard for
hardly
them.
know each other.
Yeah.
So one thing we were giving them to relate to was these images of an experience of themselves, which made them feel good, and that was
Nice.
the beginning of their relationship, and that was the whole idea.
You help them fall in love.
Okay.
Right. And then one day she said, "I want to be with the kids." It's we've done this for 8.5 years. I said, "That's cool."
Were you making a comfortable living during this?
You have to remember, I was in Koilo, meaning we were making, for the first 5 years, I was making like 38, 42, 57, and we were happy. You know what I mean? And we built the business until it was a real business, until we were making at that, I don't know at the time, maybe
At the height.
in the wedding space, probably 350, 4.
Wow, very
No, but-
respectable.
No, for that space, but that's, like that's gross. When it was starting.
okay.
But it was for us, it was a fun situation.
Yeah.
And then she said she wanted to be with the kids. I said, that's cool. And it wasn't fun doing weddings with her. So I went into the headshot space. And then that's kind of how we got into corporate, kind of played until we are where we are today.
It's amazing that you took that energy though and that storytelling ability and just you blew it up.
Yeah. Instead of getting that lame standard headshot that people get for work, like you did it in a very creative way to make it, much more color and put a lot more flavor to it. You really elevated that game. But what exactly is it that you do right now? Just walk me through that.
So really, it's interesting. So we went to the headshot space, and it's the exact same thing. What is it that the couple did? They saw themselves in the most true way. And that was what gave them energy to, right? The same thing in what we went to headshots, right? Why is the headshots? Headshots the same thing. It's a lighting and it's a recipe.
Yeah.
But a person sees naturally who they are in the most beautiful way. It gives them the ability to see on a professional level, to connect on a human level, so they can make connections. But even personally, you see an image, they've never seen anything like that of themselves before.
Gives them confidence.
Same thing in the companies. We're now rocking with the best companies in the world. We're solving problems through video every day, all day, every industry. But even though everything we're doing is wild and has an objective, the coolest thing is when you show it to the owner, show it to your CEO, it will happen. It will help sales. It'll help recruitment, whatever it is the objective is. But when they stop and they see the video for the first time, they see what they've built. They're used to hearing the problems. They're putting out the fires. Finally, they get to see for 90 seconds, 2 minutes, everything they've built in the most powerful and true way. And it's that part to me is
It's a movie of their career.
They're proud of it. It's like
Yeah.
this is their legacy. Like they know already.
yeah. And again, they'll use it for sales,
Sure,
recruitment, whatever they're doing.
Or for culture, by the way. Use it for culture.
Recruitment is such a
Yeah,
powerful. The internal
100%.
stuff is huge.
So give me the list of services that you're doing now. Like what is your things that you're doing in your day to day? So you're making video productions for facilities, for nursing homes.
So that just started. Yeah. So
You just started doing
Just
that.
started that. So basically, we're hanging out with every industry. The multifamily space. We're dealing with the startup space. We've been dealing with all of the vendors to nursing homes, right? So therefore, we haven't dealt with healthcare itself, but all the vendors that need to connect. Remember, if we do a piece, even though it's a real investment. I mean, our products start at $25,000. I won't let a client come on unless they prove to me they can make $250 over the next 2 years. You prove to me you can make $250 over 2 years with this product itself, we'll start conversation. And that's how the whole thing plays. You have a guy here who's going to a nursing home vendor that is going to create a piece to show exactly what they do. If they get one family of companies, the whole thing's, you know what I mean? And that's where we like to play. Solving serious problems through video with a real investment with an ROI in mind.
Okay. So the videos, that's one of the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
You mentioned recruitment.
So recruitment on the video side, meaning to say you have one side thing you need to do is you need to generate sales to connect to that person who you're going to service perfectly.
Your target audience.
But this same exact power comes on the other side where you need to recruit those people that really are the right people. You know exactly what this is like. You could tell when you meet with someone in an instant. Are they yeah or not? Right?
Yeah.
Get that feeling.
Yep.
So I, just as much as I want the right person to say yeah, I want the wrong person to say not. And that's where that's why these things are so powerful, because they're so humanly them that you can immediately feel this is the right person, or even more importantly, this is not the right person.
Yeah.
And it saves a lot of time.
How many people are on your team? How many people work together with you?
We have 7 people on the team, on the Laibel team. So the Laibel team, it's myself, and then we have our chief editor in Eretz Yisrael, Avram Cohen, and then we have our internal team.
You stepped it up a lot. I have to just interject here a second because it used to be just hire me to do a video, and he said it really fast. $25,000 is a package that it starts with to tell a story with a video. That's a top level production system that you're doing for them.
And that's very high end. It's very expensive.
Very, very high end.
Yeah.
What's the secret to getting to that point, right? Like, people like to scale their company, and like, what is that secret that you do that you say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to double down in it. What is that?
So what I've found is that for me, as a headshot photographer, I'm hanging out with people way past my pay grade, right? I shouldn't be sitting with you guys. I shouldn't be sitting with any of my clients here. ECAP is a client of ours, and we've been with them for the last 2 or 3 years. ECAP base, eCore, ECAP West, everything. I shouldn't be able to. I'm a vendor like anyone else. Right? Why am I being the one ability we can do is we have the ability to pull out who someone is and be able to show it in a digestible way. Mm-hmm. And that thing, you could be the most successful person. If you were in the room, of course I would fall in love with you, but you're not there all the time.
Right.
So how can I replicate you in a way that's actionable and is true?
Bring out the emotion.
And it's just the real thing. Yeah. You're perfectly you. You are perfectly
We want to
you.
show your appealing side.
Right.
We want to show the side that people can resonate with and almost humanize you, this big successful person that we want. He's just like us. He's, she's just like us. Like that's what you want people to see.
I mean, you're a staple, by the way, at trade shows and going to do headshots. That's something that looks like you'll never, ever finish doing.
You know why we do it?
Please.
There's no reason we should still do headshots.
Yeah.
One reason is because it's necessary and no one has really, we've done it for so long,
It's a fundamental.
Yeah.
But the other reason is it's our way to connect with our guys and girls and then start dreaming. Meaning, why would I ever have the opportunity to sit with ex-CEO or ex-owner, right? There's no reason, but they need a headshot, right? All of a sudden, we connect. They say, hey, what do you do? I'm like, what do you mean, what do I do? I just did it. They said, no, what do you really do? I said, okay, let's talk. And that's where the conversation
It's a
starts.
gateway.
It literally is my gateway drug.
Yeah. And every business needs that. You need to have that one thing that lures somebody in.
Yeah, well,
that's to start the larger
that
conversation.
pretty much is your trade secret.
That's the trade secret.
But the funny thing is that nobody can replicate it because it's your emotion and it's your value that you bring
But
to.
everybody has that
in
their way.
I'm talking about someone else doing the photography.
No, I know, but I'm saying, I've said this often, that the only reason why what we do works is because I built the game around our skill sets.
Yeah.
Right? So this whole thing of going and connecting with 100 people in a flash, giving something that blows their mind and then resonates forever, right? Because right?
Sure.
That's what I do well. And that's why we had to double down on that thing.
Yeah.
But what I've realized by watching everyone else's companies is that they've got that thing. And the more they connect to that thing that they no one in the world can do other than them, the more successful they become. Even though it could be like weird.
Yeah.
What are some of the larger projects you've recently done that you're very proud of?
So we just rocked with the Kushner Group on a, saw that whole, City by the Sea, the Pure Village.
Yeah.
Right? So we just
Nice, but I don't think you know where that is.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
So it's
I was nodding my head like to pretend like I do.
It's
but
just
I
a
don't.
beautiful,
Where is it?
It's in Deal.
It's not well known, by the way. It's not.
Right. So this is one of the things we were dealing with.
Okay.
So it's in Deal. And they have basically, the Kushner Group has 500 homes in the Deal area, which is traditionally known as a summer place, right?
Who is this? What's the name of this group?
Kushner.
Kirshner. And they have 500 homes?
They're 500, meaning 500 units. They have 500 apartments.
Like apartments. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. When you say homes in this
Well, people
space,
live there. Yeah.
we think you're talking about. I'm like, wait a second. Who is this person?
Yeah,
How do I know
How do we
them?
get them on the podcast?
Yeah. Okay. 500 apartments. Okay.
Right here in the middle of, right? But the challenge is they have to create it to be not only a summer environment, but to really be an all year environment.
Yeah.
So therefore, we need to create pieces to attract retail tenants to be able to base there so that everyone would feel comfortable to be able to fill up those 500 units. So all the things that are there, the hotel and the restaurants and everything, is there to service those 500 homes. Now, how do you get to those people? So therefore, we created pieces, one to connect with the retail spaces, one to connect to new people to live in the homes, one to advertise all the stores that are there, and one just to create hype around everything that's going on, to bring people in, to bring awareness. So that is something what I mean by solving a problem through video.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great way to connect to people. If you can show them in just a few minutes, get a glimpse into what life could be like. And to be able to capture that in such a short period of time demands a lot of creativity. And I'm guessing you guys come up with that?
It's not creative. That's the wild part. It's not. I say it all the time. I'm not creative. The only reason why it works is because their process is perfect, and I just know how to show it. If you have something perfect, I can show it. If it's
Okay, but you're underselling it a little bit.
Not at all.
You have to understand what to film.
We
And
know the objective. You tell me the objective, and you have to have something that really works, and we can show it perfectly.
He knows how to showcase the
There's
story
no
better
creativity
than
anywhere. I'm
than
not going to come up
most
with a
people.
script,
That's your talent.
a storyboard, anything.
so how long did you film? How long did it take
Takes
you?
a day.
One day?
Takes a day.
How did you film all that in one day?
Takes a day. That's what we do. We do every day. We walk into a new company in a different industry. We pull out exactly who they are and put it in a digestible way.
Wow. That sounds very quick. I didn't realize that it happened so fast. Like, movies and TV shows, the productions, to do one episode
Yeah.
could take them, months to do that sometimes.
Right.
And you're doing this in just a day. That's amazing. And you're in a lot of different industries, you're saying, right?
Every industry. So we never touch healthcare, ever, ever, ever.
You were not in healthcare till now?
No.
Yet you've been at all the healthcare shows for the last
With
many
all
years.
the healthcare vendors.
So you were doing companies like Prime Source and
Yeah.
companies like that.
We'll talk about that.
Why not? Why haven't you been doing nursing homes?
I make a joke. Everyone always asks, come on, Laibel, just do one. I say, no. Why not? Why not? I say, no. Tell me why not. So we make a joke always. I say, we like to work with companies that actually make money. So we laugh together, and I said, net 180 doesn't
Well,
work.
if you would do your thing, maybe you can help them market their facilities better. They can
No,
fill
so-
more
so this is
heads in there, and they can make more money.
No, so this is what happened. So I said, finally, HH Design is someone who we did a lot of work with their HH side, and HH did 2 buildings and for a certain group in Florida, and they loved it. In the whole design build.
Is it Mozart? Is that the
Yeah,
name?
oh, you know about this?
Sure. I've been introduced to their company a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I actually saw some of their videos that they've done
Yeah.
recently, and I'm very impressed.
It's wild what's going on. It's wild.
I'm very
So
impressed.
therefore, what happened was he said, I need you to do a nursing home. I said, Moshe, no, I don't do nursing homes. He said, 1. I said, no. He said, just do 1. I said, okay, I'll do 1. So I went down to Florida, and one of the reasons I don't do it is my mother was a nurse. I believe in this industry more than you can imagine. I grew up on the floors of a nursing home. It's not a spreadsheet business to me. It's real. It's human.
Yeah.
These people are angels. And I went down and did 1, and we fell in love. And it was a company that I believed in them. They believed in their people. Everything was paid on time. And we created something. We did 1. They said, let's do a few more. We did 4. Then they gave us 10. And then they opened up and said, we're doing the entire family of facilities.
Wow.
And that's what we've been doing all year. I've spent my life in Florida last year doing things that the world has never seen before.
I want to just give you a little bit of validation, even though you don't need it. But I will tell you that I have seen these videos, and he's saying something the world has never seen before. Like, you think he's exaggerating a little bit. I saw these videos, and I was like, wow. It just makes a nursing home look like a fun place. It's like, oh my God, we should all be in nursing homes. That's what it seems like.
I just did a wild dentist in the city. It's like very high end, like kind of like celebrity dentist. And people said like, I kind of want to go to the dentist after watching that.
Yeah.
It's like a weird thing.
Then you did a good job.
Yeah.
If you could do that.
But this thing, and each one of them, some of them are fun because those places are fun. Some of them are beyond like luxury, and they have that feeling. We've done facilities 10 minutes away from each other with the same owner. But this one, anyone who would go here would never go here. And anyone who would go here would never go there because it's true. It's not a recipe of like, it's whoever they are. That's
Just don't forget what he's saying is, and I want to clarify this, is that it's not fake. So he's bringing out the reality of what a story is, and he's telling it in a great way. And, I heard the CEO of ACA say this morning in his panel when he introduced himself to the world because, Mark Parkinson's just retired and, new guys stepping up to the plate. Obviously, he's very well known in the industry. And he said, I'm selfishly caring about this industry. And it was so profound. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'm selfishly enjoying that nursing homes are fun. And this is great that we're living in an era where, if we get old and need a nursing home, that we might actually enjoy the popcorn on the way in and, the recreation, while we're there and activities and so on. And I like what you're doing. I like that it's real. And I appreciate you coming on this program. It's amazing. I like learning this part about you also.
Fantastic. You have competitors as well in this space. Similar, not everybody is the same as the other. I get it. At the end of the day, but do you guys work with each other? Do you know of each other?
I don't.
Or you guys sort of do your own thing?
No, so I haven't been in this space ever.
This is
So it's not like, again, I've played in my own world, and in what I'm up to, no one's doing, working with companies and kind of solving problems. That's my own world. Stepping in this world was weird because it's a world that there's like a reference point, which, what I'm saying? Like I don't know who's playing, where's playing. I don't know the industries. I know the problems we're solving, but I don't know what's going on. But
what's funny in technology, by the way? Usually videos create problems, not solve problems.
Really?
You get a video goes viral, someone sees it, they're taking videos of you. It's going.
But it's like anything else
I
in
want
life.
to do that, by the way. If you want to ask me, like my real passion is.
Please.
So this thing is where I'm really going wild. So I asked the owner of all of these homes. I said, let me ask you a silly question. What's your objective? What do you need this for? It's a big investment.
I'm guessing marketing.
So I asked him. But again, you need to know from them because it's so nuanced. Think about from the...
He's asking the bigger
side.
question. What do you need
The
it for?
question, like, what's the goal? The goal is to be able to connect to... So you have to be in the head of... The video is meant for one person to see, right? On that side is a retail owner that needs to be convinced to come here, right? Here it's, what's your objective? What's the real thing? And it'll help me pull in how to create. He said, first of all, you have to understand that we're doing great stuff and we're really investing in care. So we need the world to see that in a true way. So it's true, we want to fill up beds, and there's no better way to do it. If we can create something that really shows truly what we are, show it to the hospital, sell it to the hospital. They give you 3 options when you go to the hospital to which, home to go to. You watch 1K, 2K, 3. Oh my goodness, what the heck is that? You know what I mean? And then it actually has increased over the last 8 months, has increased the tours, which is great, which fills beds. Even the beds that are full, the more opportunities you have for different people, you can find the right clients that better fit your needs.
More referrals and better payers.
Exactly. Now, he said that's one thing. On the second thing, our industry is such a sad narrative.
Yes.
If we could pull and continue to show the world what's actually happening, we could change the narrative, which would be great for the narrative and also great, obviously, for reimbursement as well.
Yeah.
And that's the 2 sides we're playing really hard.
That's very nice. I have to say, unfortunately, the healthcare industry sometimes gets a bad rap. And sometimes people question, like, what these people are in it for the money. They're in it because they truly care about patients. I don't know about it. Then you hear a story sometimes of someone who does something. And all of a sudden that becomes like the narrative now. And that's very unfortunate. And I think that what this guy was saying, which I can really respect, is I want to show the beauty of this business and how we change lives.
And they're actually doing it. That's crazy.
And they really are doing it in a lot of places. Show that. Why are we always showing the bad things?
And I'm going wild. And this is the idea. And we've gotten stories that can really show the state executives. Everyone's in tears.
Yes.
They could use this and drip on the government. Now I have to figure out how to create a system that will work.
You're already starting to solve the problem of the people portraying the industry in a negative way, even though it's from a minority. They make a lot of noise, like you're saying. So that's amazing. You're already doing it. And how it evolves, just keep doing it. And I think that it'll come to you, right? Just like this came to you.
Exactly.
Right? So but we're happy we're part of the journey of you trying to figure it out.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you guys so much. This was really a treat.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. Thanks. Let's go hear some Kevin O'Leary.
Our next guest is none other than Joseph Gestetner. Welcome.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Why don't you tell everyone about yourself?
So I'm a CMO of a company called CBS, Centralized Business Services, which is a boutique premier back office company in the healthcare industry. We do SNFs, ALFs, provide billing, purchasing, payroll, finance, AP. And I go to a lot of trade shows, see you and Ushy a lot, which is very nice.
We're both trade show junkies, apparently.
Yes. Yeah. People think about, like, I want your job. You're having so much fun. We're already jumping the gun, but you have to have a personality. So most guys don't. And B, you have to always be on your game.
Yeah.
So
People see like they see the fun part of it. You're out there going to parties, you're drinking, you're hanging out with people, and they think that's all it is. They think that's all you're doing. And they don't realize that there's a big other portion of this where you have to network and you have to mingle. You have to be on your A game, like you said. And that's mentally taxing. It's very tolling on someone to do that. And it's not easy. It's a job.
yeah.
What do you hope to gain from a show like this?
This is another thing I would say is that obviously you want to have business. You want to get clients through having connected with the operator at his back office. That's for sure. But when let's say there's all the operators, or most of them, get to know the vendors. And I say this because every time, in my opinion, I get half of our business or half my connections through other vendors and through their connections and getting a pulse in the industry. And honestly, people look at a badge, you see your vendor, they look away and they walk away from you. Not the right move. You build a connection with everyone there, and you never know.
So building that connection with anyone.
With anyone.
It doesn't matter who they are. They're a window into an opportunity, right?
Yeah. And he puts his money where his mouth is, because I see all the time he posts pictures of himself with an array of people, pretty much anybody.
Anyone, yeah.
And you're not picking and choosing who you talk to and who you give your time and attention to. You're pretty much just open season for anyone. And I think that's something people can learn from is you never know where something can lead. You never know where a network will take you. And if you're going to have that mentality of I'm going to get in here and I'm going to target certain people and I'm going to ignore everybody else, you're missing an opportunity. You're not giving yourself as much chances as you can because you don't know where it's going to come from. You have no idea where it's going to come. Sometimes some of the most unsuspecting places, and you get the most beautiful blossoming relationship that comes of it. And if you would have not done it that way, you could have missed out. So I think that's very powerful what you're saying.
Speaking of opportunities, this is not the first time he's on a podcast. You should have.
Right. He's been on a podcast.
You've been on a podcast before.
Yes.
How was that experience? How are we doing?
So first of all, I'm very comfortable, which I'm usually not. So you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Being podcasts are pressure. It's hard,
It's very hard.
Yeah,
especially if you want to be vulnerable and really share yourself. That's always tough to do in a room of people. When you have this amount of people that are going to be listening, it's nerve-wracking. You get a lot of anxiety. But you were on a podcast.
Yeah.
You did get quite a lot of views.
Yes.
Quite a lot of views. And you shared a very personal story.
Yeah.
About you and your wife. I don't know how much more personal it can possibly get. What made you do that? Why did you go on that podcast? And what did you get out of it?
So I'll be honest. Initially, they asked us, and I did not want to do it. Then they asked us again, and my wife was thinking about it. So I told her, no, it's a good thing because we have a story to share. And my wife has a good story as well. And when two things that you gain from it, obviously, you inspire people. People really, feel a sense of connection, and they see that there's hope. That's A. It's called Stories of Hope. But shout out to Sephora Graco. But
love what she's doing.
Yeah,
she really is.
Big fan of her.
It's amazing. Yeah, and
it almost seems like she was born for that role. Like she's really doing a great job.
Amazing.
Yeah,
she's
very
so articulate.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing I would say is that just for ourselves, for her, my wife especially, when you're always hiding something your whole life, whether it's your own insecurities, again, I didn't say everything, but when you're sharing with the world, it's initially it's taboo. All of a sudden you're sharing with the world, and you gain a sense of trust with everyone else, and it takes whatever you had, anything you were hiding, and makes it public. It's kind of it's freeing.
Yeah.
So
liberating.
Yes, it really is, because otherwise it's taboo and you're nervous, you get self-conscious. So whatever thing that someone is going through, when you share it, that's why people go, what's that famous guy, the big guy who Tony Robbins. He's very into opening and freeing, right? I mean, I never really watched him, but there's a real power to it, to really putting things out there.
I have a thing that I like to ask everybody when I see them. Especially you heard this from me 100 times. Is how was your week? How you been? Right. So I just recently said to someone, "How was your week?" And he looks at me and he goes, "It was amazing." And I'm like, "Whoa, this guy is he's a chiropractor." I'm like, "What could have been amazing about your week? Tell me." And he said, "I went to a Tony Robbins seminar with my wife for 4 days straight. Wow. And it was life-changing." And it's so interesting that you mentioned that, because that's something that he teaches you, to just be free. And once you share your story, then you realize how it's inspiring for others. Not only is it helping them, it's also helping you as well as a person, right? So
and to add to that, you look at little babies, kids, before anything happens, before they meet any other kid, they're happy, they're cute, they're free. They're they get moody, they cry, but overall, they're just cute little things. And then all of a sudden they go to class, and then they go to high school, and I'm not saying they get bullied, but they're going through different experiences, or someone scares them. They're about to get in a car accident. Things in life scare you. So in life, it's good. And it's a good thing to just free yourselves, because everyone's so busy about thinking about the people, and people lose the genuine self. So when you really free yourself, you become genuine, and everyone loves people who are genuine.
Joseph, I love you. And by the way, I listened to your podcast.
Oh,
I didn't listen to the entire thing, but I listened for at least a half an hour.
it's long, right?
It's a long podcast.
Yeah.
And I skipped through different parts, but I'm saying I listened to a lot of it that I got the real sense of what you were doing there. And you're very brave. You're very brave. And if all of us did a lot more of what you did, is you built up the courage to share your story, because what you're doing is going to inspire someone else, give someone else hope, help another person. I'm pretty sure that's the only thing God ever wants from us as his children. All of us are his children. What does a parent want for the children? The number one thing, get along amongst each other. That's the biggest pride that they can have, is when they see their children, how they're interacting and they're growing life together. That's what God wants from us. And if you have the ability to go out there and to help someone at the cost of your own humility, it's sometimes very difficult to do, but you seem like you're in a place right now in life, less caring about what others are thinking, more about being the best version of myself and living my own life. And we preach that on this podcast all freaking day. That's all we talk about here, is we want to grow personally and we want to grow professionally. And the most important recipe, the number one ingredient, is to be feeling better about yourself and less stock in what other people are going to think about you. And I think you're epitomizing that. I think by you going on that podcast, and God willing, people who are going to be coming onto this podcast willing to do the same and just share and open up. And that's what it's all about. And I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you, and I'm loving it. And I'm also very happy to be your friend. You know, we know each other for a little bit. And Michael, you may not know this, but Joseph is a man of many talents. He doesn't just go on podcasts and be vulnerable. He's someone who sings. And I discovered this not that long ago. I didn't know about it from the first time I met you. And once I discovered it, I said, wow, why am I not seeing more of this? Why are you not sharing this with the world? And you're also a very big athlete. You play a lot of sports. You're very competitive.
What's your favorite sport?
Hockey.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for Toronto, you know.
Okay.
I wish it was a different answer. I wish.
Baseball.
Yeah, it would just sound more appealing.
I love baseball too. It's
I know.
definitely up there. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's face it, mainstream America, we don't really care about hockey. We can barely spell hockey. We don't recognize it as a legitimate sport. And
It's unfortunate.
yeah, I mean, it's like figure skating, you know? It should be in the Olympics. I don't know if it should be a national.
Hockey's a man's
Are you
sport.
kidding me? People are beating the crap out of each other for a puck. It's the most entertaining game.
I'm going to get a lot of people that disagree with me. A lot of people are going to, but it's going to be a lot of people who know exactly what I'm talking about
happens.
and are like right on. But tell us a little bit about you personally. Nothing to do with the business side. We know a little bit about CBS.
Myself personally?
Yeah, just like your hobbies, fun things.
What do you do? What do you do for fun?
What do you do for fun?
So I definitely sing. I'm
In the
putting
shower?
I'm putting out an album, actually.
Oh,
A
okay.
CD. And I'm
Tell us
working
about
it.
it.
First album?
First album.
First ever album?
Yeah, I put out a few singles, and now I'm investing a lot into the album.
You had a single that our family enjoyed at 12:01, right after midnight when it came out.
Yes.
How does that high part go again?
50. Yeah, 50.
Oh, I heard this shifty song all over the place.
Yeah.
Good. You did a great
You
job.
did a great job
Thank
branding
you.
it. You marketed that song very, very well.
Thank you.
It made its
Yeah.
way around.
So what's the album called?
I don't know yet.
Ooh, let's help him pick a
We'll
name.
surprise. Yeah, we'll keep it surprised.
Are you looking for a name?
Yeah.
You have already songs?
I'm 8 songs in.
You're
I have
8
3 more.
songs in?
I think 11 songs.
How many do you need for an album in general?
About
it
10,
could be,
probably.
it could be 8 to 12. Or,
8 to 12.
so I'm doing 11 because I'm putting Shifty on it and putting 2 other singles in it as well. So
Are you
8 new
collaborating with anybody?
I might. I'm working it. I'm not sure.
But right now, these 8 songs is just you.
Just me. Yeah.
When do people normally come up with the name of their album? Before they start or after they finish? Or is everybody different?
Some people, with the way they make their albums, they really have a theme. So certain songs go into like Rebo had Elo, where it's all Elo songs, you know? So I'm doing all different types of genres, you want to call it. And
Yeah, what's your style? Are you like more pop? Are you more folksy? Like, what's your type?
so some of it's like Shifty, which is like more modern. I don't know what name it is. It's like, like Tigerishberg. I can't really.
Is it upbeat, the songs?
Not really. It's like rocky, country vibe-ish. Then I have like Shishela Style, which is a Shema B'ni, a song that I put out. It's similar to Shishela's. And I also have a song that I'm doing more Heimish stuff, like emotional,
Inspirational type of stuff.
And are you planning on monetizing on this? Like, do you want to make this a career potentially one day, or is this just totally for fun and it's costing you money?
it's costing. It's definitely. I'm not thinking about the return, but I'm definitely doing it because I've always wanted to. I love music and stuff like that. But I definitely want to sing. Yeah.
Are you investing in this yourself, or do you have others that are supporting you?
No, it's myself. Yeah.
So you're pumping your own money into this, and you're doing everything by yourself.
Not only that,
Yeah.
you do things to benefit other organizations. I know you're working on something now, right?
Yeah.
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 Tell us about that.
So the next step, so we're doing a concert, God willing, tomorrow. And
Whenever it is that you're going to do it, you're doing a show.
Where's this
Yeah.
concert? Where's it taking place?
it's in
Well, that's the thing. He's not sure yet. That's
yeah,
part of the
yeah.
challenge.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're doing it to benefit. How does that work? You're collabing with an organization. I figured
Yeah.
we'll
For
throw
the
that
next,
in there.
for the next
what
step,
you do.
God willing, tomorrow in the city, and it's to help raise money for a fundraiser, which is called the Next Step. They give prosthetic limbs for people who lost their limbs, and mainly in Israel. And it's an amazing organization, and we're singing as a group called Collab Music Group. We're amazing, and so it's not me. I'm not chatting myself out. It's a group, and yeah, we're excited.
All right, good stuff. So you're taking your talents, you're moving it into your passion, and you're helping raise awareness for what's needed in Israel, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I love it. Final question before you go. What would you tell someone getting into the industry now? Looking back, something you wish you would have known that you can tell your younger self, hey.
By the way, I just met somebody at the show. It's his first day working for that company.
Yeah.
First day on the job.
Yeah.
Somebody like
Let's
that.
go tell it to him.
Yeah.
What would you
type
say?
of advice do you give for someone who's been around for a while? What do you say to him?
Understand the business, understand healthcare industry. And like we said before, be genuine, be yourself. Obviously, he's in sales, so he has to have a personality, I hope. And he should just know the industry and get to know people in a genuine way and keep at it. Don't be discouraged when things aren't going well. To really get to know other vendors and to know what he's talking about. Like he has to really know his craft. You always say,
Yeah.
you got to open and close.
Yep.
And I think he'll be successful.
I love that, by the way. I love that ending, that letting people know you need to know your business. People respect your intellectual property. If you have information to give them, they'll listen. It's not just about being a nice person. It's also about knowing your business and getting involved and understanding it. Go to panels. This is a secret that I love sharing with the world. Go to panels, listen to them, learn about the industry. And then, of course, it's an opportunity to speak to the panelists and get their business.
It's true. So true.
Thank you so much for joining us, Joseph. We
Thank you
appreciate
for having me.
You've been amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
you.